All right, today we're jumping into the world of modern software to really break down one of the most powerful platforms out there, Azure DevOps. We're going to walk through how it takes a simple idea and turns it into something real, something you can actually use. I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? Every single team feels this. You've got this constant pressure to innovate, to push out new features, but at the same time, you have to keep the lights on and make sure everything is stable and secure. It's a real tug of war. And yeah, that tug of war really gets to the heart of the modern software challenge. It's all about balancing that need for speed with the absolute non-negotiable demand for stability. Okay, let's unpack this. On one side, you've got your development team. They're all about building new things, innovating, and moving as fast as humanly possible. They're the builders. Then, on the other side, you've got your operations team. Their job is to make sure the application is always up, always secure, always reliable for your customers. They're the guardians. And, these two goals can often clash, and that's the problem that the whole DevOps idea and platforms like Azure DevOps were born to solve. So how do we fix this? How do you actually bridge that gap between the builders and the guardians? Well, let's introduce the tool at the center of our explainer today, a platform that's designed to bring everyone to the same table. At its core, Azure DevOps is pretty much Microsoft's answer to that huge challenge. And it's not just one thing. It's an entire suite of tools, a whole ecosystem built to handle everything, from that first idea on a whiteboard all the way to getting the app into the hands of users and watching how it performs. And this whole ecosystem is built on 5 core services that work together seamlessly. Think of these as the essential tools in your software toolkit. You've got boards for planning, repos for your code, pipelines for all the automation, test plans to make sure it's high quality, and artifacts for all your shared components. We're about to see how each one plays a really critical part. So let's start this journey right at the beginning, where every single piece of software is born as just an idea and then the plan to actually bring it to life. Because look, before you can write a single line of code, you need a plan. You've got to ask, who is this for? What problem are we solving? How are we going to build it? This is where modern project management, especially Agile planning, is just so crucial. And this is where Azure Boards comes in. It's basically the mission control for your project. Doesn't matter if your team likes Kanban for a steady flow of work or Scrum for the structured sprints, Boards can handle it. You can take those huge ideas, your epics, break them down into smaller user stories, and then into individual tasks. You can track everything on a visual board and use dashboards to see exactly where things are at. It just creates total transparency for the whole team. Okay, plans in place, the tasks are all laid out. Now it's time to let the developers do their thing. It's time to actually write the code. And this is where Azure Repos comes into play. Think of it as the central library for all your code. It mainly uses Git, which is the industry standard, but it's so much more than just a place to store files. It's a hub for collaboration. Developers use what are called pull requests to review each other's work. And you can set up branch policies that act like automated quality guards, making sure no buggy code ever makes it into your main product. So we've planned the work, and we've written the code, but how do we get that code off a developer's laptop and into the hands of a user? And not just once, but reliably, maybe hundreds of times a day. Well, this is where we stop doing things by hand and start automating the whole process, turning it into a modern software assembly line. This assembly line is called a CI/CD pipeline. That stands for continuous integration and continuous deployment. And it's really just a simple 3-step dance. First, you build the code, turning it into an application. Second, you test it, running thousands of automated checks in just a few minutes. And third, if it all passes, you deploy it, releasing it automatically to your users. And here is one of the most powerful ideas in all of modern DevOps. Your entire assembly line is defined as code. What you're looking at is a simple text file called a YAML file. That's just a set of instructions. That first command, npm install, tells it to grab all the code components it needs. The second one, npm test, tells it to run all those automated quality checks. This means your whole release process is version controlled and repeatable, just like the rest of your code. It's a game changer. But hey, the journey doesn't stop with deployment. A successful launch is really just the beginning. To build truly great software, you need a couple more tools in your belt to handle quality and make your work reusable. So let's look at the final pieces that complete this picture. This is where the last 2 core services snap into place. Over on the left, Azure Test Plans helps you manage all your testing, from the automated stuff that runs in the pipeline to manual exploratory testing. And on the right, you have Azure Artifacts, which is like a private library for your reusable code. So instead of reinventing the wheel every time, teams can publish and share their code, which speeds up development like you wouldn't believe. Now, of course, doing all of this in a large company means you need some serious, top-notch security and governance. And honestly, this is an area where Azure DevOps really flexes its muscles. It has super detailed, role-based access controls. It connects to things like Azure Key Vault to keep secrets like passwords and API keys locked down tight. And it has built-in checks and gates to ensure everything stays compliant. So we've walked through the tools and the process, which is cool. But what's the bottom line? Why does any of this actually matter, and why should someone who isn't a developer care about it? Well, let's put it in context. When you line up Azure DevOps against some other really popular tools, you start to see its unique spot in the market. While tools like Jenkins or GitHub Actions are fantastic for CI/CD, you can see right there in that type row that Azure DevOps is a complete, fully integrated suite. And its big differentiator, especially for big companies, is that enterprise-grade governance, all handled in one place. And here's the payoff. This isn't just theory. A company like HP used Azure DevOps to speed up their release cycle by 40%. Just think about that for a second. That's getting features, fixes, and real value to your customers almost twice as fast. That is a massive competitive advantage. So the key takeaway is this. This quote really just nails it. It's not just about the automation or the tools. It's about bringing everything, your people, your processes, and your technology, all together in one unified workflow so you can deliver better software faster. Which leaves us with one final big question to think about. As software just gets more and more complex and the demand for both speed and quality keeps going up, is this kind of tightly integrated all-in-one platform the inevitable future for how all software will be built? It's definitely something to chew on.